We got our first. Morgan Stanley estimates that by 2040, potential revenues from space related industries could top $1 trillion. Is space the next investment frontier? Speaking of investment opportunities, we're always on the lookout for smart professionals as we grow our financial services footprint across the US and Canada. If you have a passion for all things personal finance and a desire to help people understand how to make their money work for them, we want to hear from you. We'd like to show you how you can start your financial services business by partnering with some of the most reputable names in the industry, including Nationwide, Aegon, Pacific Life, and many others. If you've ever considered investing in yourself by starting your own business, I want you to know that the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Contact us using the email address in the link below. Let's talk about the future. The question of whether space represents a viable growth industry has been asked more frequently of late, thanks to the high-profile launches and landings of rockets by Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. While these are definitely reasons to sit up and take notice of the expanding commercial space industry, there are additional aspects that point to the potential for growing private sector involvement in space. The establishment of space forces among the US, French, Russian, and Chinese militaries, as well as a renewed focus on the moon in the form of NASA's Artemis project, are important factors that would seem to indicate deep-pocketed corporate and governmental interests are focusing real money on the final frontier. The reusable rocket booster, currently being pioneered by SpaceX and Blue Origin, promises to reduce launch costs the more the technology is used, thereby making space more available to more applications from a growing number of providers. Beginning in 1970, the average cost of placing 1 kilogram into orbit was $18,500. NASA's Space Shuttle program saw that cost balloon to $54,500 per kilogram. These prices naturally put space out of reach for all but the wealthiest countries. Then along came SpaceX and their Walmart-like price reduction to space. It cost them just $2,700 to place 1 kilogram into low Earth orbit aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, a tremendous decrease in cost, and that's due in large part to the reusability of the hardware. The ability to invest in space is not a new phenomenon. Companies like SiriusXM, AT&T, Google, Northrop Grumman, Iridium, and many others have been doing space-related business for decades, albeit to varying degrees of financial success. Investment opportunities will expand right alongside the growth in companies that service the sector. Communications, IT hardware, and software companies, they come to mind immediately. When one envisions space-related investment, grand concepts of lunar colonies and mining operations within the rings of Saturn may come to mind. While those things will happen in this century, the intermediate reality is more down to earth. According to Morgan Stanley, by 2040, between 50 and 70% of the growth of the global space economy will be based on satellite-delivered broadband data transmission. Depending on what part of the world you reside in, it may be difficult to imagine not having any access to the internet. However, there are large swaths of developed countries, such as the US, that don't have universal internet access, to say nothing of the continent of Africa's lack of broadband penetration. In fact, it is estimated that only 58% of the world's population currently has access to the internet. That leaves a healthy amount of room for growth. We're starting to see the lack of access issue addressed with applications like SpaceX's Starlink satellite based broadband service. Starlink removes the need for fiber or coaxial cable to be strung into remote and inaccessible areas of the planet. SpaceX and Blue Origin, for that matter, are not publicly traded. So you may be wondering, well, how do I get in on this opportunity? There are ways you can gain access to investment opportunities in this space, no pun intended. The first route is through suppliers. Many of the companies that facilitate SpaceX and Blue Origin's ability to do what they do are publicly traded. For example, Boeing, Raytheon, Amazon, Microsoft, and many others make today's space systems possible. A word of caution: as with any investment, you have to perform your due diligence and thoroughly research any company you may be considering entrusting with your money. The second method of investment in the space is a bit more indirect. Consider the explosion in broadband technologies once more of the globe is internet capable. There will be applications such as artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, advanced telemedicine, virtual and augmented reality, business collaboration applications, entertainment, etc., that will all rest on the foundation of greater broadband density. Companies including Google, Apple, Microsoft, AbbVie, and entrants yet to be incorporated will be able to offer incredible services, the likes of which we can't yet even imagine, all for a cost of about 1% of today's price per megabit of wireless data. Space-based applications will drive technological and scientific advancement. In turn, scientific and technological advancement will move humans to seek more opportunities beyond the Earth's atmosphere and orbit. The sky was the limit. Space is laid out before us and filled with fantastic wealth generation potential. This has been Tyrone Keys. Remember, you can unlock prosperity with me, Keys.